Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Discard Dead, where we like to open boosters, boxes and decks of dead and out-of-print trading card games. And for today's video we have a starter deck of the X-Files collectible card game. Developed in 1996 by NXT Games and published by US Playing Card Company, each player commands a team of agents and uses a deck of cards that represent the locations and witnesses that they investigate, as well as their efforts to uncover the truth about their own X-File before their opponent. There are a number of different kinds of cards to aid in an agent's endeavors, including events, witnesses, bluffs, equipment, combat, adversaries, sites, agents, and of course the eponymous X-File. And a number of these cards are generally in two categories: one to aid the agents in uncovering the truth, and those used to quash the efforts of your opponents. Let's jump in and have a look. Okay, so we have a nice little paper seal up top. Oh, I wish I'd brought a knife for this one. Okay, so starting out we have a 60 card deck which is not sealed. We do have two rule books, the Advanced Rules and Procedures Manual, and we have a classified book. Oh wow, they both have their own little sealed, little tags there. We have this little piece of paper, this will come into our video a little bit later on. Let's keep those to the side there. So in addition to our rulebooks, we also have our 60 card deck, which is comprised of two card selections. We have a fixed 20 card selection. Let's see if I can get these out. These have some agents, adversaries, sites, X-Files. So we've got Inspector Phoebe Green and Agent Weiss. And we've got Agent Rich and Dr. Charles Bunk. So there are 5 different 20 card fixed selections, and then we have our random 40 cards. So before I do that, we've got Agent Weiss. Slithers in the Night is an adversary card. We've got Psychiatric Hospital in Richmond, Vancouver is one of the sites. Michael Holvey, the Evil One, is an X-File card. Inspector Phoebe Green, Fairfield Zoo in Fairfield, Mount Avalon, Containment Facility in Georgetown, Cape Cod. Those are all sites. We've got the Psychotic Attack as an adversary, Agent Rich, Sea of Tildescan in Norway. We've got Mahan Propulsion Laboratory in Colson, Franklin, Charles Bunk is an agent. We've got Doug Spinney, who is a witness, the Central Operating System Artificial Intelligence, and Byers is another witness. And our 40 cards, we've got Block and Attack is a combat card, Nerve Strike and Spin Kick, they're both combats. Okay. We've got Expedite Request for Resources, Paperwork, Clone. Those are events. We've got Emil and Zoe, Dr. Davey, Detective Frank Briggs, they're witnesses. We've got Smokescreen, Improved Channels, Spying Mission, and another Smokescreen, and another Improved Channels, and another Spying Mission. Okay. Those are all events. We've got Detective Kelly Ryan, who is a bluff card. Hazardous Sample and Harry Coakley, they're other bluffs. The Cigarette Smoking Man is another X-File card. Hard Evidence, Relentless Pursuit, Gibsonton, Mrs. Paddock, aka the Dark Angel, Alien Conservationist, Fasciofaga Emasculata, I hope I said that right, Coastal Northwest Oregon, Olympic National Forest, Arlington, Written Report. We've got The Swarm, Leonard, the Detachable Congenital Twin, Expert Briefing, access personnel files in service training, Lake Okobogie in campsite number 53 in Sioux City, Newark Genetics Clinic in Marin County, Coastal Northwest Oregon, Olympic National Forest, and Arlington. So let's go over some of the different card types that we've got in here. We have sites. These form the basis of an agent's investigation. They have prerequisite skills. Let's pull an agent out. They have prerequisite skills for which agents need to check against in order to be successful in their attempt. If an agent is successful in investigating one of these sites, then they may ask a question. Questions are where these come into, and I'll pull out an X-file as well, just to show them, just to give an example. So X-files are they're the goal. They're the general goal of the game, is to uncover your opponent's X-file card. Each X-file has got an affiliation, a motive, a method, and a result. Every time you succeed in an investigation attempt at a site, you can ask a question. Most of them will let you ask questions, and they'll let you ask specific questions. So Arlington will let you ask an affiliation question. This sheet, if you ask your affiliation question and you select the wrong one, so for example, if you choose, say, government, Leonard Detachable Congenital Twins affiliation is evolutionary. So you would tick off government cards as a failed attempt. So this will let you get closer and closer to finding out the truth of your opponent's X-file identity. In this sort of way, it does feel a bit like Cluedo, just a bit more in depth. Okay, so agents, they have different skills. So for example, Inspector Phoebe Green, she has criminal investigation, evidence collection, observation, sciences, long-range combat, close-range combat, health, and resources. Let's see. Let's get a little bit back on track here. So we've got equipment cards. I'm not even sure if I actually saw any equipment cards. Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe not. That's okay. So we've gone over sites, we've got agent cards, X-files, we have events. Let's see, events can be used to hinder your opponent's investigations or further your own. They have a resource cost. Let's see, we have bluff cards. Bluffs can be used to essentially get in the way of your opponent's investigations. They have a conspiracy cost. And we have witnesses as well. Witnesses can aid an agent's investigation by increasing one of their skills. Let's see, they have a resource cost as well. And we've got combat cards. Combat cards, if your opponent plays an adversary card, so if your opponent plays an adversary as a bluff, then that will begin a combat skill interaction, where your opponent I'm sorry, my speech is terrible today. Your agent has a close range or long range combat, and then you basically put your skills against each other, and whoever wins will deal damage to the loser. Start of the game, you have a number of agents in play. And then you have your bureau deck, which is where all of your other cards are drawn from. You can you gain a number of resource points, which can be used to purchase equipment or spend on witnesses and other things. So for example, Phoebe Green's resource is 1. So at the start of the game, if Phoebe is the only one that you've got, you'll get 1 resource point. You can use resource points too, like I said, pay for certain cards, or you can purchase extra cards to draw from the deck. Your opponent can discard cards from their hand to get conspiracy points, which they can then use to play certain cards like events, certain combat cards, or some bluff cards to hinder you during your turn. You have a number of different areas. You've got the bureau, you've got the field, and you've got the hospital. Any damaged agent, or any agents who incur damage from combat, they will go to the hospital. The higher the health score on an agent, the faster they'll heal. Sites can be played in the field area, and agents start from the bureau and they requisition equipment from the bureau, and then they can be moved back into the field. That was it for the moment. I'll have another video about how to play a little bit later on, so please keep a lookout for that. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, just wanted to touch back on a few details that I missed in the previous portion of the video. So one thing I did not go over was keywords and activators. This is pretty important. So up on this side of the card, you'll find the number of keywords. For example, the Franklin site card has the keywords site, mono, method, criminal investigation. This shows you what kind of card it is, shows how many skills are required to complete it, shows the kind of question you can ask, this one being a method question, and criminal investigation is the one skill required to pass it. Some sites have the multi instead of mono, and they'll have more than one skill required to pass. Most other cards have what are called activators. This gives you an idea as to when the card can be played. So for example, this witness can be played on the active player's turn. Some events have got different activators. Relentless Pursuit can be played during the investigating player's turn, that's the active player. Other events are played by the Conspiracy, which is the opponent during the active player's turn. Some cards, for example combat cards, with Conspiracy and active cards, for example the Conspiracy event paperwork and the active witness Doug Spinney, they have the Conspiracy points cost and resource points cost. Combat cards, they have the activator combat, what kind of combat it is, martial arts. Yeah. And these are played, this icon means that it can be paid by either with Conspiracy or resource points. Finally, one thing I did want to touch on is the X-Files card. Now in the starter deck you do actually get a variety of X-Files cards. This is good. You only need to have one to play, and having a number of them, especially in a sealed deck, means that you can change it every single time and your opponent will always be left guessing. You cannot change an X-File during the game, but you can select a new one every time you start a new one. Thank you very much. See you later.